Hey guys, it's Joe from survivethewild.us here. Pretty much since I made my first video on my poncho tent, there were two parts, 1 and 2. Me and my brother went out to make it, and it was about dusk, and it got dark before we were done the video. And everyone's been asking us since we made it. It's probably been, geez, close to 3 years now, I would think, if we could redo the video in better light. Now, I've come out like 3 or 4 times to make that video again, and every time, due to circumstances, be it I forgot the video camera, or the video camera ran out of batteries, or similar dummy mistakes, I haven't been able to complete the video and make it good enough to show again. So I'm gonna try it again today, and I got this little area picked out. I'm just gonna knock some sticks down, clear some stuff out, and I'm going to show you my homemade poncho tent. Okay, so first thing, this is where I keep it. Still using an LC harness setup. Now I switched up my setup a little bit, but you guys will notice, but I don't want to talk about that right now. I'll talk about it in another video. I've switched to kind of a drop leg setup, but I'll go into that in another time. So I still got my old butt pack, and this is where I keep my poncho tent. And then I use trekking poles too, so I have an extendable pole. Okay, let me get it broken out for you. All right, so there it is, laying on the ground. Covers a pretty big area. It's it's 2 8x5 pieces of ripstop nylon. It's black backed. This isn't like really lightweight, like the 1.1 ounce siliconated ripstop stuff that ultralight guys use. This is actually pretty tough and durable. May sound silly, but me and this thing have an emotional bond. We've been through thick and thin, and been in some pretty hairy situations, and this thing has never let me down. I'd stake my life on it at this point. Granted, this is just version 1, and I have many ideas after using this for so long. Maybe this summer I'll put together a project to make a version 2 with all the enhancements that I want in it. But basically, it's just this side here is just simply an 8x5 sheet, and then this over here is an 8x5 sheet. However, it has a it's not in the light. Let me just pull it in the light. It has a poncho hood in the center, just like a military poncho, and then the two are attached by both Velcro and snaps. Now, I just got cheap snaps on here now, but I want to get the big ones that they use on most military gear. I've actually bought them. I just haven't. Again, I haven't gotten to doing a version 2 yet. And then there's at different points, there's little loops attached to it for guy lines and tying it off. Yeah, nothing spectacular yet. It's all about where they're placed. That's the key. Okay, let me get it set up in another way. Okay, so this is it pitched. This is what I call my my big quickie. Let me zoom out. There we go. My big quickie shelter. It's 3 corners down, 1 corner up. So it's effectively about this. It's the same as an 8x10 tarp connected. Now this is great when you just simply need to get you and your gear, or one or 2 people, or even 3. I mean, it's plenty big. Just out of the rain quickly, out of the wind, out of the rain. You can sit right. You can have a stove going right there. Alcohol stove. You can even put a little fire if you want. I mean, it works as a good shelter, but not so good if it's buggy. Like right now, it's pretty buggy. So here's the back side of it. Get around it. There's the Poncho hood, just cinched up as best I could get it. I do need to redo the neck on that, but I'll probably just make another system. And there's the inside of it. I can see now a couple little holes. They never really affected me, but I could definitely see it's time to redo it. But it's pretty big. So that's the big quickie setup. So this is actually my preferred method of using this when bugs and temperature allow. This is what I call the my closed end lean-to. So it's pitched like a lean-to. Oh, I forgot to say earlier that I just carved. Sometimes I carry 3 stakes with me for, you know, to expedite the setup process, but I just carved sticks out of pine or hemlock. So there's some stakes. This is a wooden stake that I used. So this has a guy line here at the peak with one extendable pole, and then I have an additional guy line to keep the back pitched up off of me a little bit. And then I normally, on the inside, I'll put my gear back in the corner, and it kind of keeps the back up off of me, so that, you know, the dampness in the morning, the condensation doesn't get on you as much. And the pole here is just stuck through the little carabiner. It's just a cheapo, but it serves the purpose. And I'll usually hang a light from here, or my hat, or whatever, and this is a perfect place for a fire. So the reasons I like this are twofold. One, it's a if nothing else, a mental security that only one side is exposed, so, you know, bugs and critters aren't, you know, nipping at your feet. More of a mental thing than anything, but it helps me sleep. And secondly, you've got the back side sealed to the weather and this side sealed to the weather, so you aim that at the direction of the wind, and even if the wind, you know, shifts a little bit, you don't get nearly as cold. You stay much warmer, especially with your fire, you know, right here alongside your body. And you can cook and stuff out the front. It's nice, it's quick. It's my preferred method. I like to sleep like that. It's nice and comfortable and still feel, you know, close enough to nature, but sheltered a bit. It's fun camping out like that in a downpour. It's pretty fun. Okay, I'll show you another setup. Okay, now here's the creme de la creme setup. Now it's a little off. It's not exactly, you know, perfectly lined, because I'm trying to show a couple different ways to set it up. I'll go over those in a few, but this is the system set up with basically you just figure it out so that the triangles work out correctly. Stake off a back corner, you know, tuck in one side so you get your ground, and make it so that it's fully enclosable. So now I call this a 4-season, but it's a single wall, so you're gonna lose a lot to the wind. But when you can't when fire's not an option, like you can't find wood, or it's just too windy and you gotta get out of the wind, this is a pretty good setup. Yeah, there's bugs. See them on my camera. So let me go around it and show you what's up. Okay, so basically the front setup so that the triangle is it's fully enclosed. Let me show you. So this is basically the opening latch, and it just goes over top of the stake here. So that's how you get in, and then once you get in, you just close it over. So the underneath corner, probably not doing a very good job videotaping this, but hold on. So there's one corner, and then the ground tucks under so that they're actually latched. The top and the bottom are latched over the same stake. So there's a loop there, and then here's your third loop that closes it, and you could do that from the inside. and the bottom seals, you know, pretty good. Be better with Velcro down there, but they line up is the point, you know, everything lines up. So I just use, I just use my trekking pole to keep up the top. Let me get this thing latched again real quick. Oh, 1 second. Never mind, I'll wait. Okay, so basically the guy lines are set up so that they're along the ridge. So if I'm looking at it, here's the top. There's guy line there, guy line there, guy line there, guy line there. Now I just have that side tied off to that stick down to a stake. I don't have this one tied, which I could do the same, or tie to a tree or whatever. And then there's 2 more at the bottom that you could do as well. So there's a million ways to set this up. At the top, I just went with a quick, easy way because I couldn't find, most of the stuff out here is dead right now. So I couldn't find a nice, you know, bow to go from one side to the other to set up like a, you know, like you would a dome tent. That's ideal when you can find stuff like that. You just put the stick, put it in one ground, you know, put one side in the ground over there, one side in the ground over here, and just make a nice dome on across the whole thing 3 times. That's the best way. But here I just went, I found a stick, sized it between the 2 things to keep it spread at the top, and that keeps it spread enough for, you know, for me to get in plenty. Now over here I tied it to the line, tied it up over a stick down to a stake, so you could use trekking poles, sticks, or whatever to do that. Now on this side, I don't know if you can really tell, but what I did is I put a bow on the inside like that. So this is the outside of a stick bowed up to keep it open. Now I would take all my gear and just stuff it at my feet. There's plenty of room down here where it gets, you know, it gets thin enough, and then there's plenty of room for one man in there. Now the triangles can be set up in a couple different ways. Allowing it, I've got two configurations of the triangles. I can either have it taller and skinnier, or I can have it wider and flatter. And I've actually slept 2 people in here fairly comfortably. Now, in the winter, it's a pretty decent setup because you can set an A-frame right over this, you know? So you can put a big stick from one side, lean it up like that, you know, and get yourself all covered in with sticks across the A-frame, all insulated in, snow on top of it, with none of it touching this thing. So you have you know, waterproofing, plenty of airspace, windshield. It's really pretty decent, and you can still put a fire in the front of it. There's no reason why you can't. So and then of course this is it being used as a poncho over my gear and me with the hood. And you can attach it and put a drawstring. I don't think I have my drawstring on right now, but to clip the sides in so if it's windy you don't have to keep it so pulled in. And then I have the other side of it, let's see, under my butt pack still. So if if it's pouring, you don't want to take your poncho off to pitch it up over you. So now you have an additional tarp, poncho, whatever, to pitch up, so you don't get all soaking wet. Or you can just hunker down with a poncho on. It's fun. Another thing is, if you're traveling in 2, like if it's me and my brother or something, you can do this with 2 military ponchos, and you each only have to carry 1, and then you can put them together because they're set up to be like that, modular, to make different tents and structures. And there is a million ways you can set up a poncho, even just 1 military poncho, let alone 2. There's a gazillion ways to set them up. So a poncho, no matter what, whether you make it your homemade poncho tent or whatever, have your own versatile configuration, that's up to you. But to me, a poncho comes in the top 5 items that I would carry even one single poncho. It's shelter out of the rain. You know, it's a quick pitch up shelter. You know, it's a ground tarp. It's security, shelter from the wind, storm. You know, so. Anyways, hope this video came out better than the last one. Have a good one.